Hi, I'm Chuck Gray. I'm one of the leaders of the board practice at Aegon Zender. I'm thrilled to be sitting down with Robin Washington, who sits on the boards of Alphabet, Salesforce, Honeywell, Vertiv, and it's just an all-around awesome human being. And we want to spend some time talking about her, about her board service, and in addition, I want to talk about her new program about Black women on boards, the Accelerator program that she co-founded. So you've been on boards for several years. You've chaired committees. What is the role of the leadership of the board, the lead director, committee chairs, to set the tone for diversity and inclusion on the board?
I think it's a very important role. The lead director or the executive chair, there's different configurations, is the one that really ensures that the voice of the board is heard by the CEO and the leadership team. They're the liaison. If that lead director isn't focused on ensuring that that makeup and that mix of board skill set doesn't cover the myriad of different issues or different opinions, I think the board's less effective. Board dynamics where everyone feels that they can speak up, have an opinion, are the most effective board. I remember being on a board and it was, well, you're new, you're not supposed to say anything for X amount of time. That's not the board I want to be on right now. I don't want to be on a board where the only opinion that they want is my financial opinion. I want to be on a board where we are cultivating an environment where if we don't have all the experience in the business, we're learning it. We all bring different skill sets to bear, but we're collaborating and using our diversity of thought to help support leadership and management in making the right decision. So as committee chairs, as leaders, we should not only be thinking about the diversity of thought in our current board, but we should be thinking about succession planning and how we're building a board that can bring that diversity of thought to bear.
Well, on the topic of succession planning, even though there's been quite a bit of progress when it comes to representation on the overall board, it's still pretty lacking when it comes to chairs, lead directors, chairs of committees with women and other underrepresented minorities. Are boards talking about this?
Since I've been on boards, I see a lot more discussion on it. I think good lead directors, good heads of NOM/Gov really not only involve the committees, but the entire board. I'm working with one of my board chairs now on, okay, what are you thinking about in terms of candidates? Help me think about what is the succession plan around your particular role in the board. And as a Black director, there's a real evolution that I think about. You're joining a board. How do you think about becoming a leader of the board? How do you think about at some point you're going to leave the board? Are you thinking about how you ensure that you're replacing yourself with other diverse candidates? Those are all things that we should be responsible for thinking about as well, all directors.
And how do you prepare to become a committee chair? Because I talk to a lot of directors, women, people of color, and they're just so happy to be on the board. Okay, I mean, they're like, my gosh, I finally got on the board. People are actually starting to listen to me on the board.
Yeah.
Right. But to me, I think the next frontier is, okay, how do you elevate into get into those committee chair roles?
Right. It's interesting. You said, I don't think it's not a right person. I've arrived to be on a board. You should arrive to ensure that once you're on a board, you can thrive, you can grow, you can continue to add value. And as you see the board dynamics change, as you see different issues come up, as you see newer members, at some point, you're going to be one of the more senior members on that board. So if you don't see yourself as a lead director or as a chair, and in terms of not only if you have it day one, but if you're not developing those responsibilities, I'd say you probably should think differently about, is that the board for you?
And should people declare their intentions?
I think you can ask. I think you can, I always ask as I join a board, what is it about my skill set that you think I'm a good fit? And I don't know if I've ever asked, do you see me as a chair? But I have asked around, what do you see my role and how do you see that developing and growing over time? In terms of, is there a magic set of skills to be a chair? No. You're probably really, really good at your day job. You probably have had an exceptional career. And usually when you're asked to interview for a board, this as a recruiter, you've been vetted. You're capable. It's now, is it a good cultural fit? Is it a good mix dynamic? Are you viewed as collaborative? So you're definitely capable of leading just to be in the boardroom. And I'd ask, why would you want to be in a board that you can't see yourself as ultimately leading in that boardroom?